Many thanks for staying with us. You're welcome back. Today, government is fighting off claims that it masterminded the removal of the EC boss Charlotte Osei and her two deputies. The sacking of the trio was announced in a statement from the Jubilee House yesterday, as you may already know, and it stated misbehavior and incompetence. Reactions have come in thick and fast. But the main opposition, the NDC, pro-NPP group AFAG and governance think tank CDD Ghana have shared varied views on the decision. We'll also hear from APC leader Hassan Ayariga, who's surprisingly backing government in its decision. We have the Information Minister Mustafa Hamid responding to the NDC's concerns over the decision taken by government. But first, here are excerpts of the NDC's news conference held late last night.
We demand almost immediately that they must give us reasons for which they think that the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and the two deputies stand indicted and should be removed from office. It is very clear that this government that has so far failed, for me, Ghanaians everywhere you pass are saying this government, we will see its back in 2020. So they attempt and the fear for which reason they have set out to remove an arbiter of our elections and the two deputies so as to allow them to continue their rigging machinery. Ghanaians will not allow that to happen. Tomorrow, the anger of the people will be shown on the streets.
Well, you'd expect the NDC's ally, the APC's leader, Hassan Ayariga, to back them. He did not. He's actually here in the studio with me, and he'll be telling me why. The PPP is also in support of the president's decision, and that leaves the NDC alone in this fight, it looks like. Now, all those details will come in shortly. Right now, let's listen to the Information Minister, Mustafa Hamid's response to the questions that the NDC is raising, as you just heard.
We need to conclude by reiterating what is obvious, or indeed what has become obvious to you this morning, that this removal of the chairperson of the EC and her two deputies has nothing to do with the president, has nothing to do with government, has nothing to do with the MPP, or indeed has nothing to do with any other political party in our country. It has everything to do with the laws of our country, with our constitution, with holding office holders to account, and with the principles of probity and accountability. It is purely an internally generated matter. The matters that became the subject of the petition against the former Electoral Commissioner and her colleagues were the same set of allegations which they themselves threw against one another in the media and in the public space. And I'm sure most of you covered them, repeating basically what I am re-echoing to you from the committee, including Mrs. Osei's allegation that Mr. Amadou Sule misused $6 million cedis from the political parties, and the counter allegation against her that she abused procurement processes in several contracts.
Information Minister Dr. Mustafa Hamid there. Let me now bring you highlights which are part of the reasons given for the dismissal of these three persons as captured in government statement issued. Now, one, Amadou Sule Amadou Sule, Georgina Opoku Amankwa, and Charlotte Osei. These are the three persons we're talking about here. Charlotte Osei, what steps are being taken to replace these SAC officials? I'll give you that later, but she's the chairman of the commission, of course, and these are some of the reasons. She was appointed, as you already know, by former President John Dramani Mahama, and then there was a petition for her removal, which was filed by Forsen Ampofo and others. Well, these are the committee's findings after the prima facie case was established against her. Now, out of the 6 allegations that were made against her, but let me just go ahead with what we have here. The Electoral Commission, according to the committee, also failed to obtain approval of the Public Procurement Authority for the restrictive tendering method that it used. There was no justifiable excuse, they say, for the chairperson's failure to comply with the Public Procurement Act.